Alright everyone, here's a little mild suggestion. Do not let Kamala Harris off the hook for having lied to the public for several years about Joe Biden. Kamala Harris has met with Joe Biden repeatedly. She's his fucking vice president over the last few years. She would have been therefore acutely aware of the fact that he had medical issues of one sort or another. We're still not 100% sure, but I'm 99.9% sure that he had a series of mini strokes. As far as his cognitive decline, if she's meeting with him on a regular basis, and she did, if she's hanging out with him doing photo ops and stuff, she's acutely aware of his mental condition. Kamala Harris right now is being astroturfed as they're trying to ignore Joe Biden entirely at the moment. I mean, he's going to address the nation later, but after that, probably I'll never talk about him again. And they're trying to astroturf Kamala as this young in politics, I suppose, young upstart whippersnapper with the crack mind, and she's really, really exciting and all of these other things. But she knew. More than anyone other than Jill Biden and maybe a few other people, she would have known Joe Biden's cognitive state. It means that she was part of a cover-up that the President of the United States, the asterisk president actually, was not mentally fit, was physically unwell, etc., etc., etc. She can't be let off the hook for this. This needs to be reminded to people. When they try to immediately pivot to Kamala 2024 and forget about everything Joe Biden related, because the legacy media doesn't want to talk about Joe right now for good reason. Because they want Kamala Harris elected and they don't want no shit. It needs to be reminded that she would have known. She was acutely aware of the situation. She didn't say anything. She didn't do anything, etc., etc. She also is derelict in her duties, and people have begun pointing this out. You're the border czar reigning over a border that's made of Swiss cheese. You're the AI czar, and now we've got like news stories talking about how China's leapfrogging us with artificial intelligence. You've been mostly an absentee vice president, etc., etc. Those are all great lines. The biggest one, though, is the fact that she had to know acutely that Joe Biden was unwell. She interacted with the man on a regular basis. Now, we just got another news story, and boy, oh boy, is this cope. The other day, there was, I can't remember which news outlet it was, WAPO or one of these other rags. They were saying, well, Kamala Harris only met with Joe Biden a handful of times over the last year. That's perfectly fine. She was still in proximity to him on a regular basis. The fact that they only held a few official, formal meetings does not mean that they did not interact with each other. I think considering the number of selfies that they did with one another and the number of photo ops they did, they probably interacted more than 6 or 7 times. That's just official capacity meetings that we're talking about. This is lawyer speak, by the way. This is clear-cut legacy media propaganda. When I saw that article, I couldn't help. I burst out laughing. Because I'm like, okay, official meetings are different from interacting with a person. Okay, I have a meeting with, let's say that I go to Jeremy's house. I go to the Quartering's house, and we hold a meeting, a business meeting. Okay. But then we go bowling. And then I spend a week at his house, and he spends a week at my house, and we go get dinner, and we're hanging out and stuff. Okay, we've interacted more than just the meeting now, haven't we? I'm going to be able to get a pretty good bead on what his cognitive state is. Thankfully, his cognitive state is much better than Harris or Biden. Harris met with Joe Biden only a few times because she's derelict in her duties, because she's not taking her job seriously, and that should concern people. But she interacted with Joe Biden much, much more. She also interacted with other people who interacted with Joe Biden and would have gotten secondhand knowledge about what happened from that. Because she's the vice president of the United States. You think that she doesn't get briefed by other, like, cabinet members or staffers or something? Oh, Joe told me XYZ, Rackham Shackham. Okay, well, it's fine, says Kamala Harris. She was well aware, and had to have been for some time, that Joe is not cognitively normal. Everyone can see it. We've seen the videos. We've seen the pictures. We've seen his bizarre audio clips as well, like that phone call the other day where he sounds like he's 3 sheets to the wind. It ain't because he had alcohol, though. Jill wouldn't allow that. No, he was dosed up to the eyeballs and just had several mini strokes. And we know this. I mean, we can see it for ourselves. The proof is in the pudding. We've got the fucking footage. We've got the fucking audio and everything else. Kamala knew. She had to have known. Even if she never interacted with Joe Biden outside of the realm of a half a dozen meetings over the last year, certainly she can see the progression of his cognitive decline. She lied to the American public through omission. She didn't tell people. She didn't tell people, hey, by the way, President of the United States is he's a little bit gone here. She could have thrown him under the bus, by the way. If she had done that, court intrigue would have been severe, and she probably would have been able to overthrow him. That appears to be effectively what happened, by the way. I don't think Kamala engineered it, though. I don't think she's quite intelligent enough for that. I think this was more engineered by the Clintons and people like that. I think they decided electability was very important. And so they got together, they called in a few favors and said, look, this ain't working with Joe. Now, we've got a chance with Kamala. I would agree. Yeah, you've got a 1 in 1,000 chance or thereabouts. That's pretty much what you've been left with. But at least it's there. Because imagine Joe Biden at the second debate. Well, that would have been a shit show. We're not even sure there's going to be a second debate. Hell, we're not even sure there's going to be a DNC. And we don't know what the fuck is going on. We have to wait till Biden addresses the nation later tonight to know even half of what's going on. And it's probably going to be mostly lies to begin with anyway. So, I don't know. But we can't forgive Kamala Harris for lying to the public for years. She knew what was going on. She was in the White House. She met with Biden. She interacted with Biden. She had lunches with the Bidens, etc., etc. She had to have known that he was in steep cognitive decline, that he was in poor health in general, physically and mentally. She had to have known. There's no other possibility. There's no possibility that even she's not self-aware enough to realize that Joe had something wrong with him. I can infer that based on just second-hand and third-hand knowledge, based on YouTube videos and shit like that. You can too. Listen to him speak. Watch him speak. Watch him fucking walk around. Not apparently sometimes knowing where he's going. We can infer that already. Somebody who is actually up close to him on a reasonably day-to-day basis, maybe not every single day, but on a regular basis, interacting with him, talking with him, maybe even small talk and shit like that, had to have known that Joe Biden was not well. And this begs the question, who the hell was calling the shots? I mean, considering how incoherent the administration has been, maybe I was wrong the whole time and Joe Biden actually was the one calling the shots. That somehow perturbs me far more than the alternative, which is that some secret dark cabal of corporatists, etc., and military brass were running the show. God, I'd prefer the Illuminati and the military brass at that point. It's somehow less scary, which scares me. That's about all. Peace out.